girl Nique, and you're tuned into another episode of Nique at Night. And tonight I have the millionaire, the mogul, Mr. Darryl Drake. When I got Mr. Darryl Drake, I thought it would only be fitting to do a topic on success, the importance of chasing your dreams. If you don't know, me and Darryl, we come from kind of the same area. It's different cities, but pretty much like a lot of people don't make it out from where we come from. So it's really a big deal that Darryl was able to come from where we come from and make it to millionaire status. And he has this whole rich under 30 movement and everything going on like that. Basically, what I want to ask you is, what do you think are the tips to becoming successful? Like, what do people who come from where we come from, a place that is not, you know, like it's a lot of crabs in a barrel. Yeah. People are stuck in their ways. A lot of people are accustomed to, you know, the Section 8 lifestyle. They're accustomed to not really going for their dreams. They're accustomed to, you know, staying stuck in the mode. What are some of your tips to like get out of that?
Yeah, I think for me, really, and thank you so much for allowing me to come on your amazing show.
Thank you for coming.
I think for me, really, you know, it started young. You know, I believe everything starts with a dream. And I don't mean to sound cliche, but for me, it was really just believing that I was worthy of more than what my current circumstances were.
Right.
You know, if there were people out there that drove nice cars and lived in abundance and you know, purchased nice homes and all that type of stuff, traveled the world, I felt like, why don't I deserve that?
Right. Why can I achieve it?
So for me, first I wanted to plant the seed in myself of possibility, right?
Okay.
And then secondly, it was more so like, look, now it's time to get to work, right? I needed to make sure that my activity was in alignment with my goal. So if my goal was to, you know, go off and live this abundant life, I need to make sure that every day I got up, I did what I needed to do. I got up, I hustled, I figured out new ways, you know, to improve my business. I was, you know, while other people were, you know, maybe at a party or whatever, I was online finding new ways to make myself better, to build my brand. And so, you know, so number one, vision. Number two, work. And number three, you know, really just staying consistent.
Right.
You know, a lot of times people don't give themselves enough time to embrace the journey. Because I look at it like this, really. The universe wants to give us exactly what we want.
Okay.
Right? Once I say, you know what, I want to go off, I want to make millions of dollars. The universe says, okay, fine, you can do that. But it has to be reciprocated, right? So the universe gives you the million, but in return, you need to give the universe something.
Okay.
But sometimes people want, but they're not really.
Okay, so a lot of times people want, but they're not willing to give, basically.
Right,
okay.
Right. It's the law of success. And so people have to understand that when you put it out there that you want to achieve more, you can have it 100%, but you have to be willing to give what is required to open up that gate.
So I think that's a lot like Charlemagne the God's new book. Yeah. So one of the chapters in the book is, or I don't even know if it's a chapter in the book because I haven't read the whole thing, but I follow Charlemagne the God a lot and I see a lot of things that he talks about. And a lot of times he talks about this one particular thing that he has in the book because I haven't completed it yet. But basically what it is a lot of people they will miss the opportunity because they feel like opportunity comes only when there's a paycheck attached to it. So like there could be like an amazing opportunity to put you on this amazing platform, but you'll miss it because a paycheck isn't attached to it. You know what I'm saying? So what I get from that is sometimes you have to put in the footwork. You have to put in the footwork, you have to put in the groundwork, you have to put in the time, and then ultimately you will be rewarded. But if you don't go through the struggle and you try to miss the struggle, you will miss the blessing. You know, so I think that's kind of a lot like
absolutely. I mean, you know, the person that takes shortcuts get cut short.
Right.
So it's principles. I mean, you could take any type of person. And one thing that all successful people have in common is that they all understand that success is a science. It's not accidental. It's very success is intentional. Right? If you take all of the successful people in the world and you took every single dollar from them and gave it all to the poor people, for instance, the money within probably a year or less would be right back in the bank accounts of the successful people. Because it's not about the monetary things, right? The physical money, it's the mindset. And the worst thing you can do is to give someone $1 million before they develop the mindset of being a millionaire. So it's a lot that goes into it. I don't think people really understand it. It's almost, walking suicide to give a person something that they're not ready for. So I think that, the biggest thing about success is embracing the journey. And so it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, success comes to those who wait from the standpoint of, embracing your journey.
Okay.
But for me, I attacked it. When I seen there was something that was hot right now, it's immediate. Internet is fast. All these different things are really, really fast. And if you don't take hold of the opportunities, they can sometimes leave.
Yeah, they can.
So it's not that us, and I want to get a little bit deeper. It's not as us, it's not that us as black people lack, great inventions or great ideas.
If you look back in history, most of the great inventions came from black people.
We lack action.
Okay.
And so that is the biggest thing. It's not that we don't come up with some of the greatest ideas. We will sit with our friends and think of some of the most phenomenal things, but we lack the action
to put behind it.
Exactly. And so what I find is that faith creates passion. Passion creates action, and action creates results. And so in somewhere, if you miss any one of those steps, you become stagnant. And a person that becomes stagnant or confused, they don't do anything. A confused mind does nothing.
Right.
So for me, I always try to keep myself in a very, educated state. I always try to keep myself around the right people. So I went through the first, couple of phases, but the last number 4 is associations, right? Making sure that you surround yourself around the right people. I know it's very tough, especially coming from where we're from.
Yeah.
It's like everyone around you can be doing
nothing.
And so it's very difficult to be positive, because when you try to be positive, as the person that the only one in a circle of negative people, for instance, you feel uncomfortable because they try to make you feel like, you think you're better, or you act,
or you can't, or they make you feel like you can't achieve it because nobody in that area has achieved it, or it seems too far-fetched.
They try to project their failures on you, their fears on you.
Right. Yeah.
And so for me, I never minded it. Like for me, I knew I was gonna be great. And so I went out and I did whatever I needed to do. And believe you me, along the way, you will lose everyone that you thought was a friend. But here's the thing. The same people you play in the sandbox with are not the same people you're going to go and graduate college with, right?
Right.
And, so life has seasons. So understanding that, it's very important, for you to understand that everybody has a season. And, not everybody deserves VIP access to your life.
Right.
Some people just need to stay on the balcony,
and observe from the outside. So my question to you is, because your business industry is network marketing.
Yep.
So you network market and you have this platform where you reach out to people and you're able to touch the lives of 1,000 families and help them.
Yep.
So somebody who's on your same path, who is in network marketing, what are some tips that you would give them to first get started?
A lot of people want to spray, cologne on a musty body. Right? You can't do that. Like, get your butt in the shower, right? A lot of times. Take the
proper steps.
And what I realized, I speak in front of 1,000 people, and people come to me and they ask me, what is it that I need? Give me the secret. And in actuality, it's not what we need to learn more of. Sometimes it's what we need to let go of.
Okay.
Sometimes it's, the relationships that we need to let go of. Sometimes it's the negative thinking we have to let go of. Sometimes it's the laziness that we need to let go of. So it's not that you are not enough because you need to learn more, but it's that you're not enough
because you need to unlearn
because
some of the things that you've been taught.
you have to. And that was my biggest thing, because I had been conditioned for 18 years to think a certain way, to work a certain way, go to school, get good grades, get out, you'll get a good job, you live the American dream.
Okay.
But that no longer exists for us, right? So I created my own movement, which is the Rich Under 30 movement. Residual income creates happiness. So I put together a community of people to say, listen, that American dream that our parents had, that our grandparents had, it no longer exists.
It's
so
a new
now,
platform.
Right. So now let's become entrepreneurs. Let's take control of our own stuff. And so first thing is foundation, right? Get your mind right. Get rid of all the stinky thinking. The second thing is educate now. Educate. Whatever you want to do, whatever field you want to go into, be familiar with what it is that you're marketing, right? You cannot sell a dream looking like a nightmare, right? And then the third thing is associations. Again, associations. I got around the right type of people that had the results that I wanted. You cannot say that you want to go to point A, right, or point B, but all you hang around with is point A people.
Right.
You need to have people in your circle to
That's
elevate
going to elevate, yeah.
And so, and then lastly, of course, staying in line, like I said. Continue going to the events, continue getting around the people that are in your, arena, in your industry, because those people, when you are down, when you feel like quitting, when you feel like it's not working, the synergy around you is going to keep you moving. So there were times, year 1, year 2, year 3, when I wanted to really give up. I would question myself, like, am I good enough to make this happen? And the people around me, because I strategically placed myself in a healthy environment, they kept me moving. And then now being able to make, multiple 7 figures because of the decision that I make to intentionally put myself in the right environment.
I think that's dope. And so what I want to touch on is, a lot of the times, I'm going to just go off of what he's saying, and I think he made a lot of really great points. I'm not a 7-figure earner, so I haven't made $1 million, but I have went after my dreams, and I have picked up things that I think are valuable along the way. So I was watching this speech by Viola Davis, and one of the things that she stated in her speech was I don't want to misquote her, but it was something along the lines of the most amount of money or the greatest ideas or something along the lines of that are where? In the cemetery.
There's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place, and that's the graveyard. People ask me all the time, what kind of stories do you want to tell, Viola? And I say, exhume those bodies. Exhume those stories. The stories of the people who dreamed big and never saw those dreams to fruition.
So I feel like a lot of times people have these great ideas, but they don't act on it. They don't bring it to fruition. So back last year in November, I had an idea, and I said, a lot of black businesses, we have them around, we always complain online, we always say, we need to support more black owned, we need to do this, do that. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to come up with an event that is going to be surrounded around black businesses. I'm going to create an event where black businesses can come together. We can all sell. We can all come together and, promote our businesses and be like a marketplace, so to speak. So, I didn't just leave that as an idea. I actually acted on it. And I acted on this idea within maybe less than a month's time. And within under a month's time, I'm going to say like 3 weeks, I came up with an event that was a successful event. I got 10 or more. I think it was like between 10 to 12 vendors. And I didn't even know these people before I started on this thought. And I got 10 to 12 vendors to come in on my idea of this marketplace and join in. And they all agreed, and they came and they sold their product, and people came and they supported, you know, but if I only left that as an idea and didn't act on it, it would be just that, an idea.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's very important to go after your goals.
And here's the thing, it just to kind of piggyback off that, it's like, I remember being, you know, in my beginning stages, and I kind of compare myself, you know, to a crayon, and I would, you know, be out there, and I would be, you know, trying to, let's just say, work at success, right? I'm coloring, and along the lines, things happen, right? You get set back, your crayon breaks, and I realized that, you know, even when a crayon breaks, it still colors.
Right.
Even a broken crayon colors. So no matter where you're at in life, right? Whether you're from the worst neighborhood or the best neighborhood, you have something else to prove. I've seen both. It does not matter. All that matters is your will to make it happen.
Exactly.
And it's really like, how bad do you want? How bad are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? See, some people are just comfortable to where, you know, they're okay with the way that they're living.
They're okay with where they're at.
And I once heard it said that if you fight for your limitations, society might just let you keep it. And so be careful of the things that you fight for. A lot of times people fight for, you know, their situation because they're scared of what's on the other side of where they are. And I think for me, I had nothing to lose. And so I went out there and I just made it happen. So now it doesn't matter where you guys are, young, old, white, black, yellow, purple, from the hood or from the suburbs, it does not matter. Anybody can go out there and make it happen, because if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah,
I promise you. But I don't mean to sound cliche, but it's the truth. Like, I'm nothing special, you know, outside of, you know, my work ethic. I can't be out work, but outside of that, like, anybody can make it happen if you really want.
Okay, so what I want to say is, I think a lot of the times people count themselves out before they even get started.
Right.
And before you even, you know, like, automatically you count yourself out and you say, I can't do that. I can't achieve that. But it's like, you really can though, you know? So for me, I wanted to be a model. That was my dream. I wanted to be a model. So what I would do, I would pick the minds of people who are in the industry that I wanted to be in. Whenever I would be around certain people, I would ask questions. And I think in these times, a lot of people are too prideful to ask questions. They don't want to sound dumb. They don't want to sound like, you know, they thirsty or whatever. But if you want to make it, you can't worry about being thirsty. You can't worry about your pride. You got to think about the end goal. What is it that you're trying to achieve? You know what I'm saying? So I started to pick the minds of people who were in the industry that I wanted to be in. When I would be around certain people, I would be like, hey, you know, I heard that you got this gig or that gig. I'm interested in being a model. I want to be able to get gigs like that. How did you do it? And then so I would pick the minds of the people who are doing the things that I wanted to do. Right. And they would tell me, you know, because I would come to them, and you'd be surprised at the information that you gain from people.
Humility. And I don't mean to cut you off, but you just said something that was like a paradigm, like a epiphany to me. Humility is the key that opens all the doors. What she just said was like key. A lot of times, especially in our community. Right. In our community, we got too much pride. Right. We'll be broke as shit, but we got pride.
I'm not gonna ask this person that. Like,
look, ego, ain't no ego in getting this money. So for me, it was like I was a student, number one. I had humility. Meaning, if you have something that I want, I'm going to humble myself enough to figure out what you've done so that I can get to that level. You know, but a lot of times we've been so conditioned to be tough as people. Right. And if you show that you need somebody, then that means that you're weak. But it doesn't work that way, because if where I'm at right now, if I feel like you don't need me, well, guess what? I'm not going to pour my time into you. So now I'm fine. I'm going about my way. I'm hopping in my Bentley. I'm going to drive up to my mansion. I'm going to live my life. But you just missed out on a blessing because of your ego. And so in times, we have to understand that ain't no ego in getting this money. Ain't no ego in getting to another level, because at the end of the day, it's only one life that you have to live. And it's very rare that you're going to be able to walk across somebody or be in the presence of somebody that has what you want. And I'll tell you this, if you wouldn't change places with a person, don't take advice from them. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone can tell you what they think that you should do with your life, but they're not in it. So if you would not change places with them, bank accounts with them, relationships with them, do not listen to them. You go to people that have what you want so you can get the results that they have.
I agree with that. And so I'm going to just wrap this up, and I'm going to leave you with a final thought. So basically on what he piggybacked on or whatever, and like I said, a lot of times people are stagnant because they're too prideful. They don't go after what they want. I'm going to just leave you with this. So my first modeling gig that I ever got was Lady Gaga featuring Beyonce, and it was the music video Telephone. So I'm going to just tell you. So like I said, I was friends with an artist, and he invited me out to his video shoot. You know, he was trying to holler at me, whatever, and, you know, I'm just like, cool, I'm gonna go, whatever, you know, it's cool. But when I went, I didn't just go as the girl that he's trying to holler at. No, I'm going as the people who are here. I'm trying to figure out how you got here, what avenues you took, because this is what I'm ultimately trying to do. This is my ultimate goal. So I picked their brain. I got the information, what the casting directors are who casted them, what the information is, the emails, the websites, whatever I had to go through, I got it from the people because I had conversation with them. So I got that. So then I applied myself, I reached out to people, blah, blah. So I landed a casting call for the Lady Gaga and the Beyonce music video, Telephone. So I go on this casting call, right? This is my first casting call ever. I had never been on like a professional casting call. And when I got there, I seen like a lot of video models, and I'm just like, I started to immediately like count myself out. I thought that, you know, I was like, oh, well, she's light-skinned, I'm dark-skinned. They're probably gonna want her because this is what the Hollywood looks for. But I had to recondition my mind and set myself apart. Like, listen, you got this.
Right.
You know, so I think a lot of times people count themselves out before it even begins. And, you know, I was able to land my first video. And, you know, if I said the names of the people who were in that casting call, you'll be surprised because it's like, wow, you beat this person out?
You never know. You never know who or what the universe is looking for, right? You don't. So you don't know if you're enough. You don't know, you know,
if you're the look that they're looking for.
Right. And so I just say this. Listen, if you're out there and you're ready to take action, here's the first book that you should read, right? Because everything that you need is going to be found in a book, right? I promise you. Or an Audible, right? So the first book that I ever read was The Secret. And The Secret was pretty much designed to help me to think differently, to understand that anything that I speak is energy and I am attracting. What you speak will be, right? Whatever you speak, whatever you think becomes a reality. So be very cognizant of the things that you allow in your mind and what you allow your mouth to speak, right? The second thing is how to win friends and influence people. Some of us, we're too rough around the edges. Some of us, we're too conditioned, we're too street, or we're too tough and we don't want to show emotions. That's not going to cut it in a 6 to 7 figure industry. I promise you. You can stay down with the you know, less successful people, but when you get to a certain level, you have to know how to deal with people, period. And so How to Win Friends and Influence People was my second book by Dale Carnegie. And then, you know, thirdly, you know, I think it was Developing the Leader Within. Developing the Leader Within was my third book because once I got my mind right, secondly, I wanted to learn how to attract the people. And then third, it was now that I have the people, I need to learn how to lead my people to the next level. So Developing the Leader Within, and then from there, my business, my personal business, you know, it grew. It really did. And so that's all for us today. It's Darryl Drake, Rich Under 30 Movement.
Nique, thank you for watching. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Nique at Night. Check out Darryl Drake. Go to his page. Get some wisdom. Get some knowledge. He has some tools that you can use. He's under 30 years old. Right now, he's 28. You're 28?
28. Yeah,
so right now, he's 28. He hasn't even reached 30 yet. He is doing phenomenal things. So you want to be in the company of people who are doing phenomenal things. And a lot of times, we feel like this is family, I gotta be loyal to them, this is my friend, this is my A1 since day one. But a lot of times these people are crabs in the barrel and they're keeping you below ground. You gotta sometimes know when to let certain people go, because everybody can't go with you to the next level. So sometimes you gotta let some people go. So
I used to say, I'm gonna make everybody successful if it kills me, and I almost died.
So thanks for watching. Tune in to the next episode of Nique at Night. Make sure you go follow Darryl Drake.
Darryl Drake on Instagram, Darryl Drake on every single site, any media site. It's all Darryl Drake, DARRYL Drake, DRAKE. Follow me, I'll follow back, and be inspired. My goal is to inspire, educate, and motivate.
Thank you. That's all for tonight. Thank you for watching, and peace.